Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast with your hosts, Jason Rambo and Sean Alley. We bring you all things sporting clays. Our focus is bringing new shooters to the sport and helping all shooters by giving you the most useful info from coaches, pro shooters, gun clubs, product and service specialists. The Dead Pair Podcast, what every shotgun shooter wants to hear.
Paul? Dead Pair!
What's up, everyone? This is Jason Rambo, and with me, as always, my large mammal friend, Sean Alley. What's up, buddy?
Oh, hey, how you guys doing? We got a full house tonight.
Yes, we do. We have Jake and Luke Spengler from the Cardinal Center, and we also were fortunate enough to have Mr. Nick Sage from Promatic Traps in studio. What's up, fellas?
How's it going?
Doing well, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great. If I could get Sean to get things a little bit more prepared around here before a podcast. But
I'm slacking. Sorry.
He's slacking. I have to crack the whip a little bit.
Get after it, big guy.
I know.
So this is awesome. You guys, Jake and Luke, you guys run one of the most premier clubs in Central Ohio, home of the SCTP Nationals. It's awesome to have you guys in the studio. So what's coming up new for the Cardinal Center? Anything new? Any plans, projects in the near future?
I mean, yeah, we've got plenty of plans. Lots of plans.
It's the funding behind the plans, right?
Yeah, 2020 kind of put a ripple through a lot of stuff, as it did with everybody across the nation.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
So we're still kind of reeling from that and trying to get back into the groove and try to find out what our normal will be for this year.
Yeah. I'm assuming you guys have talked to other clubs. I'm sure they're experiencing much of the same
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah. The good thing is, you know, with a lot of the shooters, I mean, they're still going to go out, and it's an outdoor sport. You can go out and practice your social distancing, not have to wear a mask.
Right.
You know, all of the other normalities, I guess, that would be this day and age.
Yeah. You don't have to be huddled up to do it. So.
That's right. So we've, we had a good year. We still had a good year despite everything going on in the world.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to this year.
So is it going to be business as usual as far as the SCTP Nationals go? And
Yeah, pretty much. In 2020, we did start the SCTP International Nationals, which is the first 4 days before Team Nationals, and that runs right into Team Nationals. So it's a long shoot. It's 2 weeks solid, pretty much, of just shooting. That has nothing to do with the preparation and the cleanup. It's July is a heck of a month for us when it comes to the shooting sports, and we love to see those kids come. And I mean, it's a packed house. I don't know if you guys have been there during SCTP Nationals,
it's a zoo.
but it is.
yes,
It's unreal.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like being at a rock concert, man. I mean, there's a ton of people there.
It is. It's crazy to see that facility just packed to the gills full of people.
Yep.
So are you still planning on doing the SCTP benefit shoot?
Yeah, the benefit shoot's going to continue in 2020, just like it has in years past. I've already talked with Kids and Clay, Zach Lemon. We're getting everything in line with events thrown. We'll definitely do a 100-target main. We might even add 50-target 5-stand, maybe some super sporting to that event as well. That will run the tail end of SCTP Nationals.
Gotcha.
Last year it was a good event. I think we had 220 shoot the 100 targets, so maybe shoot for 300 this year.
Wow.
Would be a big win.
Yeah, that was a fun shoot last year. That was awesome.
Well, and the proceeds go to benefit Kids and Clays, and they also go to support SCTP programs. So
It makes you feel good to spend the entry fee, right?
absolutely, absolutely. They're asking a little more of you, but again, it's going
Right.
to promote the future of our sport.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
are you guys seeing like a big influx of the youth shooters? I mean, over the last, say, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, are you seeing it like gradually grow year by year, or what's your take on it?
I would say that with the addition of SCTP Nationals to the Cardinal Center, we're definitely seeing an uptick in youth shooting, simply because it's the big show. You
Okay.
know, when they're there, it is the big show for them. That is the biggest event that most of those kids participate in all year long.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they want to practice at the big stage.
Yeah, they want to shoot the big stage, just like anybody else.
Gotcha.
Just like any other athlete, any other competitor of any kind.
So do you think the size of the event is what's drawing the kids in, or is it, I guess the reason I ask is, you know, we're trying to grow the sport. This is what this podcast is all about. I mean, what can we do, or what do you think needs to happen to help pull more youngsters into the game and get them moving on into not only the SCTP, but we've talked to several people before. There seems to be kind of a little bit of a disconnect between the SCTP and the NSCA, and kids not necessarily naturally progressing to the NSCA. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
The big thing's cost, Sean. When you're looking at from the time kids start shooting until 18, 19, 20 years old, they're on mom and dad's payroll.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that big cost, and we all know this game's expensive. Anybody who shoots this game can tell you that's the most prohibitive thing of the entire thing is the cost.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
I think SCTP does one hell of a bang-up job with their program. However they get it funded, whether it be through the Midway Foundation, private donations to teams, you name it, fundraising, they do a fantastic job of getting that stuff there.
Gotcha.
And they've got a lot of industry support, tons of industry support, which they should.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those businesses are looking at that event and that program, and they're seeing the same thing the rest of us are. They're seeing the future of the sport.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of great kids that, they're becoming fantastic shooters. We see it all the time. These younger kids that are moving up, goodness gracious, they got the eyes, the reflexes, just the advantages of youth, so to speak. You would think a lot of them would naturally progress into the NSCA. You don't have to be out there, doing a tournament a weekend or anything, but, at least kind of go down that path, I would think, and try to prove yourself, maybe get some sponsorship, maybe get some help that way. Even if you can get some free or discounted shotgun shells, gear, so on and so forth. Hopefully that would defray the cost for some of the top tier youth shooters, that really want to be serious.
It's hard though, because the industry as a whole is so small.
Yeah,
and
it is.
And every one of these companies is beat up constantly.
Sure.
Wanting free shells or a free gun or a free whatever, and it's difficult. But I would say as long as it keeps growing at the rate like what you guys are telling us, I think it'll come.
Absolutely. When you're just the sporting portion of SCTP and you guys will know numbers because you were both there too. In 2018, it was 1,000 kids that shot the 200 target main event of that. And in 2019, it was almost 1,300 kids.
Yeah.
You're seeing 27% growth in just a single event. If we had more skeet fields, it's already the largest, based on competitor numbers, it's the largest skeet shoot in the world. It's bigger than the mini world. It's bigger than world skeet.
Wow.
We don't throw more targets, but there's definitely more competitors.
Right.
Okay.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah. If we had more skeet fields, they'd be filled too. The problem with skeet is you can only do so much. You can only do as much as the day allows you.
Right.
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 So you're limited there. You've got to have the facility to be able to put 1,000 kids, 1,200 kids.
And how many skeet fields do you guys have right now?
14 now. Plans for expansion, probably another 6.
Wow.
That's still not
incredible.
enough.
By July.
Yeah. By July.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you guys are gonna be real busy then.
Man, oh man. Well, no wonder they don't come out and shoot with us anymore.
I know, right? They're actually working. Look at them.
I got some more I want to go into with you guys, but I'd like to jump over here to Nick. Nick, what's going on with Promatic? Is there anything new coming out or anything exciting going on over there?
Nothing crazy, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you again.
Oh, yeah.
Just in Ohio right now, just making our rounds, making our service rounds, and visiting our customers and saying hi and patting them on the back, and
Is that why you're in
doing
town
the
to tweak the traps?
That's right. Yeah, doing the customer service thing. It's what we base our business on.
Gotcha. Now, how many clubs do you yourself manage or take care of as far as clients go?
Man, I've got too many to count, I guess. We all work as a team is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know
Cardinal
if they...
Center, obviously, biggest deal, but they're no more than, the next guy down the street,
Right.
So we pay close attention to everybody and take care of them just as well as everybody else. So
I didn't know if they split
Yeah.
you off into different regions or something, like you take all of this area and this guy takes all this area.
right.
But
So when I first started, I was, working in Kansas City, so I would travel all over the country. So, doing service and installs and things like that. So I'd go from, Seattle to Maine and all these places. And so I'd travel coast to coast and I made all these contacts along the way.
Getting it
So it makes it easy, but also it can be strenuous when you're dealing with
On
a
the
guy in
road that
Montana or Seattle and things like that. So
Right.
It's fun.
That's awesome. I know that Jake made a comment earlier. Ohio's turning blue, so it seems like there's not a club you can go to in Ohio that doesn't have a Promatic trap on it. So I'd say you guys got the region covered pretty good.
We like to see it, and we like to see it. We take care of everybody, and hopefully they. I know Jake. They both appreciate it, and Jake and Luke, and we rely on our customers to help us, sell traps. So, and these two do a great job.
So at the Dead Pair, we're all about the new guy and helping the new guy out, and we talked about this a little bit in our last episode. There's some guys that, and I know Jake and Luke, they're going to ball up here and want to hit me here in a second, but there's a lot of guys that can't make it to the club. Like myself, I was one of those guys because I'd get off work at 5 o'clock in the summertime. The clubs are closed. Last guy out at 4:30. It's still daylight till 10. So I ended up buying some of my own traps and practicing at home. What do you guys offer for the guys at home? Maybe not just necessarily the single stack machine, but kind of like the lower end of the commercial machines.
Yeah, so we've got several options. I mean, we've got over 85 different models, but to cater to your local guy who wants to just go out in the backyard and shoot, we've got this great machine, and it's called the Kestrel unit. It's got a rotary carousel. It throws up to 75 yards. Uses a 12-volt battery. It can be bolted to a cart, and you can tilt the machine just like you would be able to a super sporter like you see at Cardinal Center. So it'll do a lot of the things that you see on a sporting clays course. It doesn't have the big capacity, and it's a little bit lighter weight, so It's easier to move around for the guys at home.
Yeah. Sure. Well, don't jump across the table and hit me. But I have an Atlas trap, and I have the 150 machine. It's a commercial machine. Carousel machine like you're talking about, has a tilt and angle. And really, to go out and get a good practice in, a couple of those machines that you can move around easily, like what you're talking about, the Kestrel, that's perfect for the guy that wants to be able to go out and train and practice when he can't get to a club.
Absolutely.
Or not even necessarily that. I mean, there's people that live 2-3 hours from their closest club. So
yeah, we're kind of spoiled in that regard. I mean, having so many clubs close by.
Right, for sure. I mean, between Cardinal and Eagles Nest, we're right here locally. If you wanted to go an hour north, you can run into Hillendale, and hour west, you can run into Mad River. I mean, we are spoiled.
Yeah, we are. Definitely got a lot of good clubs within
Absolutely,
short
I
drive.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. So, what? All three of you, I'm jumping all over the place here with my notes. All three of you, and go around the table clockwise here. You guys throw tournaments. You provide for tournaments. You guys have been around this a long time. What is something that you see missing? What is something that you think we can do to help improve, even if it is at just a local level? What can we do to increase participation?
So this kind of touches back on the youth thing, Jace. If you're a shooter, bring somebody new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if they want to be a competitor, and I will tell you the majority of gun club management, or owners, operators will tell you the same thing. I don't care.
Just bring somebody.
Just bring somebody.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. Maybe the answer is okay. So everybody wants to know how do we bridge this gap? Let's just try pushing a volume.
Okay.
Okay. Because maybe the more volume you have, say you guys can shoot every weekend, right?
Right.
Sometimes both Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What if you took a new person every single time you went? Okay.
Yeah.
And say you only shot. We're in Ohio.
Yep.
Okay, weather conditions aren't going to be great 52 weeks out of the year.
Right.
Let's call it 30. Okay?
Okay.
And the two of you together shoot Saturday and Sunday. You brought a new person every time. That's 60 people that you individually have introduced, introduced to the game.
Yeah. And I mean, the sport sells itself. Usually when I bring somebody new out that's never shot before, or they've never really done it, the right way at a sporting clays course, usually they're hooked. I mean, by the time you get them through the course, and by the time they kind of see what it's all about, and they see how much fun it is to whack those birds and stuff and go around the course, they're usually hooked, and they'll start going out there. And
I don't know if Ross had told you guys or not, but and I've touched base on it last few podcasts, so I'm not going to dive deep into it. But I took 3 in-laws that have never shot a gun before. It was right after the Christmas break, and we came up to Cardinal. We rented guns, bottom shells, safety glasses, everything you guys provide, everything that they needed. And I took them out there, and my favorite part of the story is the one girl shot an 8 out of 100. And on the last pair on the last station, she turned around with the biggest smile you've ever seen. And they're hooked. Her and her boyfriend, which is my stepson, they're coming back up to Cardinal. Now, the other one, he lives in Florida, and Tampa Bay Sporting Clays is close to him, and he's already been there. So there's 3 people I took that are hooked. And I think Jake's kind of got a point here, Sean, that, if everybody would commit themselves to, okay, look, I know it's not easy to do, but if everybody committed themselves to take one person a month to a club and introduce them to the sport, we would probably have our hands full with the growth.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just that simple.
Well, and before they can ever become registered shooters, they have to be a shooter to begin with.
Correct.
Because neither one of you and none of us
got to crawl before you walk.
Started as registered shooters. We started as shooters. Right?
Yep.
Right. Now Nick and I have shot nationals together for the last 2 years. This game is, and I'm rambling here, but the game means different things to different people.
Sure.
Okay. Some people are there to make money. Some people are there to enjoy their friends.
Yep.
Some people are everybody's there to compete, but to a different extent.
Yes.
Right? Some people are just trying to beat their buddies. Like Jason said, he wanted to be the local badass. That's what he told Bill that lady. He said, I'm never going to be a world champion, but I want to be a local badass.
We need to watch how much we repeat that, because a lot of people are writing this down right now.
I want them to hold you to it.
It's Rambo, R-A-M.
Shut up, Sean.
B-O.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jake. Please go ahead.
No, but they've got to be shooters before they can be registered shooters.
Absolutely.
That's fact.
Well, and I'll be honest, back in the day when me and Jason were younger, out of high school, even in high school, my buddies and I would get together, go out in the field. We have the old rinky-dink spring hand throwers. We go out there with a couple boxes of shells and blast birds just for fun, and then that kind of migrated into, Jason's dad was shooting sporting clays at the time, so he invited us along, and oh wow, there's an organized game to shooting a shotgun. Who knew? And that's how we got into it. So and I know you guys are seeing tons of people come in off the streets on the weekends. I know you said Memorial Day you had like 300 or 400 people go through that week.
Memorial was almost 400 people.
Yeah, I want to touch base on that.
Monday.
Yeah, I want to touch base on that. You said you had a massive crowd come in on Memorial Day weekend, like more than the last tournament, right? So how do we capture some of those people?
Some of them you will, and some you won't. Some people don't have any want to be a registered shooter. They're just always going to be a weekend warrior. They're going to go out there with their buddies. Yeah. They do it for fun. Like you, local badass. They're the local badass in their own little group of people.
Right.
And that has to be acceptable. That everybody needs to look at that and say, that's okay.
Right.
Because those people are helping your gun clubs stay open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
And you don't want to pressure them into doing
no,
something
absolutely
they don't
not.
Want to do. You want to make them feel as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
And and I know we're just talking about sporting clays here, but I'd like to see a big way I think we can grow the sport is if we can focus on other disciplines and try to pull those people to sporting clays.
Right.
Yeah, trap and skeet are huge.
Right.
If you base it off of SCTP Nationals, what's our biggest event? Trap.
Yeah.
Trap
Right.
singles.
Yep.
And a testament to your point, Luke, is how many coaches have shown the value in cross training between trap and skeet for sporting clays.
It's actually getting a lot better now. All it takes is, a lot of these guys, especially a lot of Midwestern states, it's trap country.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have never shot sporting clays. They know about it, but they've never shot it.
Right.
Mostly because they don't have clubs around them, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within a decent driving distance that they can go do that. But just at the Cardinal Center during nationals, when they come back to sporting clays, just like the registered benefit shoot, I mean, you get a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing about that shoot is they're there to watch the kids compete and coach their kids, but that gives them an opportunity to compete as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not all about the kids the whole week.
Right.
Well, and it was one of the things that Mike Luongo kind of brought up when I was doing the interviews down in Florida is we never talk about recreational shooters, and that is really, and you guys tell me, I'm just throwing this out there. That's really what keeps a club open. You know, if you're a private club, you got to rely on memberships, right? If you're a public club like you guys, you're not. You may keep the light bill on with tournaments. Am I wrong in saying this? But the club is going to thrive off of the recreational shooter. Am I correct?
Right. The only reason we're not open because of registered shoots.
Right.
They would definitely not keep the doors open.
Right.
You know, and that just goes to show you, I mean, with the size of our facility, we have plenty of traffic going through there on a daily basis as far as rec shooters go.
Right.
To keep our doors open.
Okay. Well, along those lines, so obviously, you know, youth shooting is on the rise and it's growing, but I've also noticed there's a lot more women shooters that are coming into the sport. I see a lot of husband and wife teams. I see a lot of, you know, boyfriend girlfriend type of things, and I've seen just, you know, the occasional single girl out there at a tournament or at the club. And I mean, are you guys seeing the same thing on the weekends with the recreational shooters?
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things to introduce women into the sport is I think there's got to be a little bit of delicacy going into it.
Sure.
If they've never shot a gun before.
Sure.
You know, you don't want to pop some light field over and under 12 gauge into their hands and give them some big hard hitting shells. That's no fun.
No.
You know, so I think just a little bit of a delicacy going along with that, trying to ease them into it, and they're going to have a lot more fun in the long run. And then they're going to be more likely to stick with it.
Yeah.
And want to continue to do it.
Right.
You know,
it's funny because when I took those three in-laws shooting, the first thing I asked for was one of your A400 rental guns. You know, I figured that had been perfect. And the girl that was with us, she wanted to shoot the over-under, which was, I think it was a Beretta, what is it, 686?
Silver Pigeon, yeah.
Silver Pigeon, right. She wanted to shoot that. Now, don't get me wrong, it kicked the hell out of her. I could see it doing it. But she didn't care. You know, to her, it was the simplicity. She had a shell hang up one time, and it kind of made her a little nervous, and so she wanted to go with the simplicity of the over-under. Some women, that's fine. But to take a young kid or a girl that's, you know, 5'2" and 90 pounds and hand her a 12 gauge with 32-inch barrels and an 1 1/8 shot is just ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
You know, she needs to be shooting, in my opinion, at an automatic with a 1 ounce load that's not going to kick the hell out of her, and let her go see if she likes it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've got a 9-year-old. She weighs 57 pounds. I'll take that A400 light 20 gauge. She loads it. She shoots it by herself. I don't need to help her.
Nice.
57 pounds.
57 pounds.
Right.
she also likes the A400 28 gauge.
She also does.
That's a sweet little gun.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
That's probably a
They're
ball to
awesome.
shoot.
They're awesome.
You need to sell me one of those. We need to talk about this after the show.
We got to talk to Beretta.
So, okay, back up to Cardinal a second. So you guys, obviously, we everybody knows you guys have rental guns, but you guys can sell the gun too then, right?
So typically, Jason, towards the end of the season, we will sell rental guns. But this being the year that it is, we're going to hold on to everything we got.
Probably saw a lot less rounds this year through them.
Well, not only that, it's just you're seeing a run on ammo, you're seeing a run on firearms too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you guys have looked at Vance's or anything local.
They're all bare.
You can't find
It's
anything.
empty. Yeah.
Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. If it goes bang, people are buying it. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That being said, since you brought it up, I wasn't going to, but you brought it up. I know you guys have several orders out there. Are you hearing anything up the pipeline as far as shell deliveries, that kind of stuff?
Everything we're hearing is 6 to 8 week timeline. I'm hoping that we've ordered enough ammo to keep everybody happy for the entire year and run all our events. But you know, it's a fine line. We're still going to see what happens with COVID. Last year we had quite a few cancellations for outing stuff.
Sure.
Simply because of social distancing, you couldn't. When you have that many people, it's hard.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But you know, we're optimistic. We're optimistic that it's going to shake loose eventually. We'll just see when it will be.
Yeah.
Right. Well, all three of you guys are shooters, not just, supplying traps or putting on
Not good ones.
Speak for yourself.
Do you have fun? That's the big question.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you'd shoot this game,
right.
in my opinion, is to have fun.
As busy as the three of you are, do you guys still get to shoot here and there? I mean, everybody's looking at me and shaking their head and smiling.
We shoot at stuff that breathes.
I shot 100 registered targets in 2020.
Are you serious?
I shot 0.
You got to be. Nick's holding a 0 sign up. Wow.
Is it a time thing? Is it a desire thing?
It's a combination of all of it.
Okay.
It's just like anything else. When you go home, do you want to make more signs?
Yeah, okay. All right.
Jason, do you want to push dirt?
No.
You
Right.
get home, hey, I'm going to get my D5 and I'm going to go push some dirt.
I feel you. I feel you. That makes sense.
I can't get him to make signs while he's at work, let alone after work.
That's just everybody.
We still don't have our dead pair sign in here. That's all right.
I think Jake and I are both fair weather shooters as well. I don't like to shoot in the cold.
Absolutely. I do like
unless
warm
I'm
weather.
hunting. I don't.
3 years ago, we'd be out there right now at
Yes.
night with lights on in Carhartts, doing everything we could to shoot every minute of the day if we had an opportunity. These days, I'm like, looks a little chilly out. Yeah, I think I'll just sit by the fire and pour another glass of bourbon. That's probably the better thing to do, anyways.
My gun freezes up.
Right.
Doesn't
Right.
function properly.
Oh, geez. Well, Sean, it's more like his skirt got stuck in the action, but that's all right.
Whatever. I mean, we all have got our problems, and we just got to deal with them the best way we can.
God love you, Sean. You know I'm just teasing you, bud.
I know.
But that's what this game's about. It's about fun. Luke and I've got buddies that we'll go shoot tournaments with. I think we shot one tournament a couple years ago in costume.
Oh, my God. I was going to
I saw the picture. Yeah, I remember the pictures of that. So, hey, all right, that's a cool story. Tell the background of that
Yes,
story.
you have to tell this.
Everybody knows Dan Bailey likes to throw task.
Right.
We like Dan's task targets
Oh, yeah.
because he does an amazing job at that.
Yes, he does.
But it was cold. I think it was March, and he wasn't. The task was full. Well, our buddy said, "Let's shoot fuzzy task," where we all dressed up in
Furry feet test.
yeah furry task, where we all shot in animal onesies. Austin was a cow, Luke was a shark, and I was a giraffe. And it was
Were these like leftover Halloween costumes, or
no. So Luke's better half is possibly one of the greatest gift givers I've ever met in my entire life.
okay?
And she got him this onesie for Christmas, and it was a shark.
And you guys went and shot C-Task in this?
Well, the
Surprisingly,
task
I might do it
rotation,
again.
yeah, the task rotation was full, so we ended up shooting sporting. But yeah, we got stared at the whole entire day. Sorry, Dan Bailey.
Oh, jeez.
That's a great story, though. That just goes to show you, go out there and have fun, for God's sake.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That is what it's about. This, if you're not having fun doing this game, then you probably need to try something.
Well, and
else.
Jason, I'll tell you, we went through that phase where, you can get super serious, and you get, I'm competitive, he's competitive. We like to chase try to outshoot each other, and there's that natural side of it. But, honestly, I have a lot more fun when I'm more relaxed, not taking it as seriously. I mean, obviously, if it's a tournament, I try to take it seriously. But if you get too wound up, then it just becomes a big stress ball thing. And
it hurts your performance, too.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely does. Yeah. So if you can kind of relax and just kind of go with the flow, I've had a lot more enjoyable times doing that than the other.
We shot nationals 2 years ago, and the year prior, I had shot really well. I actually won C class at nationals, which woohoo! That is my crowning achievement of my whole entire shooting career.
Nice.
And I won't top it. Then the next year we go back, and yeah, I mean, I went with Nick, and he's looking at me through these courses, and he's going, "What in the hell are you doing?" He said, "Have you shot this game before?"
Jeez.
Whenever I go to a tournament, I like to just look at who's registered and just pick a random person out to beat. I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah. I might not even know them. Just pick somebody out.
We went to Kentucky State one year. It was at Elk Creek, and that's where I used to be before I came to the Cardinal Center.
Right.
Well, brother got to know a bunch of my members just in visits, and he picked out Chris Redner. And I don't think Chris Redner shoots sporting clays anymore, but Chris is one of the nicest guys on the entire planet.
Okay.
And a hell of a shooter. And after the first day of the main, Luke was up like 5 targets on Redner, and we found him at the 5 stand, and Luke told him that he had picked him out on the way down and was trying to beat him. So then these two had this competition the rest of the weekend, and it was, but it was great. I mean, that's it's part of the experience.
Yep.
If you're not having fun doing this game, find something else to do.
Well, we need to probably make a date with all of us to go out sometime and just,
Oh, man.
You want to shoot the worst score of your life?
Yeah.
Because it'll happen.
Okay.
You don't remember.
You know what? I ain't scared. Bring it. Just bring it. I got broad shoulders. Bring it. Come on.
You don't remember last year at Hillendale when, was it last year or the year before, when Jake was on the squad? I think Paul Demko was on a squad with you, with Kurt. With our buddy Kurt.
Yeah. Oh, Kurt was, yeah.
And the cracking up and the cutting that they were doing. I mean, the guy was in the box shooting, and they're like, I bet $5 you can't get both of them with one shot. Just all this kind of stuff. I'm like, man, that's a rough squad.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say,
Etiquette went right out the window.
yeah, exactly.
When you're with Paulie D, nothing's ever serious.
I will say it is testament to what you said, Jake. The best score I ever shot. I was having so much fun. By station 16, it's like, what? This is over already? No, let's go shoot again. I was just having so much fun and cracking up with the buddies and stuff. No, I mean, I was being way more respectful than you guys were, Hillendale. But it was that level of fun, and then it was over, and it was like, well, what'd I shoot? And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I just turned that number. I mean, and the worst I ever shot was when I was trying the hardest and taking it serious.
Mm-hmm.
It was serious, so.
Strange how those two things go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyways, yeah. I mean, what else can we talk about here, Jay?
Well, I got an idea, and I ran it by a certain someone that may or may not be a world champion. What are you guys thinking about doing a dead pair shoot at the Cardinal Center?
So what do you want to do? We're always game. You bring us ideas, we'll do what we can to make it happen.
The thought was, we'll put together a 100-bird tournament, okay, and then have a super final for the top 3 in each class. We were also going to do live video broadcasts throughout the day while we're at the shoot and do interviews with the winner of each class. Now, as far as prizes go, well, that's, I don't have...
We can work on that.
I don't have Spengler money, so we got to figure something out.
Give him your Kohler.
No. Over my dead body. So, but no, I mean, I think that'd be fun. I'm hoping we could put something together. That'd be kind of cool to kind of have everybody there. We could do a live video podcast, like link it to YouTube or something. And that would be fun, too, with doing a super final. We could do it up on a make or break.
You got a date in mind?
It's going to take most of the year to organize this. So
I would say it would.
Late fall, somewhere in there. I don't want to conflict, obviously, with a night shoot, but...
Yeah. Would it be better to try to do it in combination with another event so that you guys are kind of already...
So, and Luke and I have talked about this. I think that, one, you guys if we're going to do something live, we need to do something during SCTP Nationals.
Okay.
Okay.
And that falls when? June?
July.
Okay.
Middle of July. Because then it's just like Luke said, it's an absolute circus.
Right.
If you figure you've got 3,000 competitors.
Yep.
Okay. It's like Little League.
Yep.
So mom, dad, siblings, maybe grandma and grandpa. For every kid, you're looking at probably for sure 2, maybe 3.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So you're looking at between 9,000 and 12,000 people.
Yeah. That'd be good, too, because that'd be a good avenue to start talking to some of the
of the
SCTP shooters while they're there. We could do some interviews while that's going on, in addition to...
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge a listener, okay? Anybody that has a drone with a decent camera, we would like you to come join us for this event and just obviously we don't want a drone out in front of the trap field, right? Okay, let's be sensible. But
Now wait a minute. Let's think this through.
but you know what I mean? To do some, because that's the only way you're going to show how many people are really there. An aerial shot like that. We'll get some drone footage. We can get some live video broadcast going on YouTube. We can put together a live episode, and let everybody know what time it's going to be on. We'll get some good kids shooters that want to be interviewed.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Maybe a parent or two or a coach that's there. I think we could do this. I think this would be cool.
Vendors, all your vendors will be there.
Yeah.
And they can talk about what SCTP means to their business.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. So I have an announcement to make. We are going to start something called Questions for the Coaches. So what this is the listeners can write into the Dead Pair. Just go to the website, thedeadpair.com, click on the contact button. I don't care what it is, as long as it's obviously sporting clays related. It could be about gear. It could be about how to approach a certain target. Maybe it's a question about training or practice. Whatever it is, you write in. Sean and I will pick 2 questions every week, and this is going to be divided up amongst 3 coaches.
Yep.
We have on board with us to do this Bill Elliott,
Yep.
Gavin Miles, and Mike Luongo. In every episode, we are going to call one of those 3 coaches, and we're going to ask them those 2 questions. And those coaches are going to answer your questions. So all you listeners out there, instead of being, part of the Facebook Keyboard Warrior program that's going on, why not get your questions answered by a professional coach?
Yep.
Write into us. We're not going to answer it. We're going to call the coaches up, and they're going to answer your questions. Now, we don't have to announce your name. If you choose not to, that's fine. But we are going to ask the questions, 2 questions a week for a coach every week. So write into thedeadpair.com, hit the contact button, send us an email, and we will rotate coaches every week. And every week we're going to have coaches on to answer your questions.
Do we want to do that strictly on email, or do we want to let them post up on Facebook as well? Or
you know what? That's a good idea. They could either way.
okay,
Either way.
All right.
They can ask the question either way. They can go to our Facebook page. They can go to our Instagram page, send us a note there. However they want to do it, just send us the questions. We'll pick 2 every week and call up a coach, get an answer.
that'd be cool.
So
Real cool.
And special thanks to Bill Elliott, Kevin Miles, and Mike Luongo for doing this. Really appreciate you guys chipping in on this.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Good thing. Well, I know you guys aren't super shooters. Do we want to do the rapid fire series with these guys?
Let's do it. Let's go around the table.
Why not? You guys have heard the rapid fire, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's
right.
do that. All right.
Well,
so,
Jake looks eager. I say start with him.
Okay, we're going to go counterclockwise, so you guys will have to share a mic over there. All right, you ready, Jake?
Go for it.
Gun.
DT11,
32 or 34 inch.
32.
Fixed chokes or screw in?
Screw in.
Brand?
Whatever fits.
Go
Riley, I'm sorry.
to constriction, or do you change?
No, I don't change. I see light mod.
Gotcha. Shells.
OPA. Other people's ammo.
Oh, gee.
Why am I not surprised by that?
Oh, boy.
No, I mean, there's so many quality shells out there, guys.
I'm just saying, if you had to go to,
if I had to pick one, Game Bore,
Bore.
white golds,
White gold.
7.5.
Okay.
Gotcha. Glasses.
Pila,
Vest or shell bag?
shell bag.
Brand?
Of shell bag?
Yes.
I don't know. I've had it since I was like 12.
Great. So that means it's a Home Depot nail apron.
I think it's
Caves merchandise.
Heritage leather.
The orange ink is kind of worn off
Heritage
now
le-
after all these years.
Heritage leather.
Ear protection. Anything certain or just foam twisters?
Rod Stumbo's wife, Teresa, makes my earplugs for me.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Oh, very good.
All right.
Luke? Gun.
Um,
Oh, boy. He can't remember what gun he shoots. Look at this.
I don't shoot right now. I'll just go Beretta. How about that?
Okay. Beretta. Okay. 32 or 34?
I like 34s.
Okay. Fixed choke or screw and choke?
Screw-ins.
Brand?
Riley. Titaniums.
Certain constriction, or do you change?
I like tight mod, I-mod. Typically. I don't change throughout the course.
Shells?
Game Bore.
Load?
White golds and the dark storms. Not a lot of dark storms, but
You 7.5 guy or 8 guy?
7.5 solid.
7.5. Vest or shell bag?
Shell bag.
Glasses?
I typically wear my own prescription clear lenses.
Gotcha. Ear protection.
Rod Stumbo's wife, Teresa, also makes
All
my
right,
earplugs.
there you go.
Seems to be a common theme.
All right, slide that around there. All right, Nick, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Gun.
Bretta DT10.
DT10, nice. 32 or 34?
How about a 30?
He's a
I'm
skeet
an
shooter,
old
guys.
skeeter, all right? I'm an old skeeter, all right? Easy.
Okay, so
Easy.
so let me guess. Skeeting improved cylinder.
Right. Yeah, it breaks everything. Light mod.
Light mod. Shells.
Game bar, white golds.
Vest or shell bag?
Depends on the day. Depends on the season, really. If I'm slimmed down, I put on the vest.
So not August through April. Nick wears a vest in May, June, and July.
So June and July.
Glasses.
Peerless.
Ear protection.
Foamies.
See, he needs to listen to the last podcast and take advantage of that discount from Pro Ears that he's offering.
Yeah, 25% discount. That's
25%.
Check it out.
I know you've had a lot of very giving folks on this show.
We have.
Here.
We've
Dude,
been-
you know what? We gotta try to help our listeners out. That's what we're here doing.
We'll help you out here in a little bit. We'll talk about that later, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my. Really?
I want to do something where, I don't know. I think you two come up with the criteria, okay?
Okay.
You'll probably need a panel of judges,
Okay.
okay? I'm willing to give you, and the Cardinal Center's willing to give you guys, just because you're ambassadors to the sport, and we're behind you on this one.
Okay. Well, don't build us up too high.
110%. It's just you, Allie, not Rambo.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Go ahead. Go on.
I was just holding him in such
I'm
high
usually the one
regard.
taking the crap
So-
end of the stick, so I'm gonna.
So here's
keep
what I
this
want
up
to
here.
do. Here's what I want to do. I want to give you guys a membership. I want to give you a corporate membership.
Oh wow.
As you both know, 30 rounds of 100 targets, so 3,000 targets.
Wow.
Okay, and a golf cart every time they're there.
Yep.
Okay, covered. You two come up with the criteria and figure out how we do this. And I don't know. Again, I don't know how you want to do that. I like the coaches segment. That thing. I think that'll be cool. I think that'll, because you've got a lot of different personalities who are all fantastic ambassadors of
Well,
the
and
sport.
so far you're picking good ones.
All right. So we need to come up with some kind of a program here to give that away to one lucky listener.
And let's give it away like 1st of April. That'll give you a couple of months.
Okay.
Well, no, wait a minute. Let's back up. This episode won't air for at least 2 weeks.
Okay, so let's do the end of April.
Okay.
Beginning of May.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll come up with some kind of a,
Contest or
we need to think of something.
maybe photographs or something. Maybe people could send us pictures on Facebook of
There you go.
their being out on the course. That'd be a good one.
Perfect. So here's what we'll do. They have to,
make them like your page.
yes.
Make them share your page.
Right.
There you go.
So they have
There you
to, perfect, Luke. So they have to like and share our Facebook page. They have to post a picture of them or their group or their squad shooting, right? And then who's going to determine who's going to pick the winner? We'll let Jake and Luke pick the winner.
Let your coaches pick it.
Okay.
I trust
Okay.
Bill. I trust Bill and Gavin for
All right.
sure.
Based on what? Just best picture, best subject matter, best
Since,
pose.
I don't know. Since we're trying to get new shooters into it, let's really,
Pictures of new shooters.
new shooters. Give me new shooters.
Let's listen. This is going to be I don't want to say a local thing, but a regional thing, right?
Yeah, you're going to have to obviously live
You're
in-
not gonna
live
get-
in
Yeah, I mean,
Ohio
you're not going to
really
get
take
you don't-
advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, you may get some guys out of Kentucky or Indiana, maybe
Sure.
Michigan.
Right. So
you know,
we'll let Bill Elliott pick the winner.
Okay.
Okay, and he has to choose the best photo, like Jake said, based off of.
Even if they post the photo on Facebook, whatever, we're also going to have to get their email address so we can get in contact with them somehow. So
Right.
I guess once they post the picture, share it on Facebook amongst their friends. Also drop us a line and say, "Hey, I'm so and so. Put this picture on there and give us your email." And then
yeah,
there
however
you
we
go.
need to do
Yeah,
that.
perfect.
You know what else we need too, guys?
What's that?
Yes,
Hats.
we're working on those.
This is the model, too. This is the model themselves, right, Nick?
Gotcha. Yeah, we're going to get some hats made. We're actually in the process of getting our logo digitized for embroidery.
Nice.
No, like I said, we're totally behind this because you guys. This is, as people have touched on in previous episodes. I feel like you're targeting the right group of people.
Well, thank you. I mean, because that's what our whole intent was from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
And honestly, we can thank you guys for getting us started on this path. I mean, if it wasn't for you guys coming up to us and saying, hey, the NSCA's got free memberships this year for guys that have never shot registered targets, that's what got us started. Right. And now look at how much money we've spent over the last 3 years.
Yeah. That is one of the greatest things. And they still do that. They do the limited membership.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys listen to...
You just don't get the magazine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's what it is.
So I have another question for all of you, one at a time. We ask everybody this. Give us your favorite memory in sporting clay. Doesn't have to be a win. Just your best time you had on the course or something that made it memorable. Give us your best memory of shooting sporting clays.
Why do you have to ask such hard questions?
That's what we're all about, man. It's pressure.
I've got so many good memories, and a lot of my Nick's going to stand in my wedding in September. You know, I've made fantastic friends in the sport. I cherish that more than probably the majority of it. Probably greatest memory and you know the way I think sporting should look was when we weren't even shooting the event, we were working it. 2009, we went to Elk Creek for the U.S. Open. They had a frickin' ice sculpture outside under a tent. The facility was gorgeous.
What was the ice sculpture of?
It was literally the U.S. Open logo.
Carved out of ice.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, and you've heard David talk about the invitational and stuff. I thought, not because again, I didn't shoot the event, so I don't know flow of the event, but aesthetically, that was the best I've ever seen a club look as far as pulling into an event pulling into a venue for a big event. Like and there's not even a close second. I don't think.
It was amazing. It really was.
Wow.
And that's after we've been all over the country too. Well, there were zone shoots at the time. They weren't even regionals yet. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
You were just kind of far away.
But there were zone shoots. And what was there? 7 zones?
Yeah, that's back before they did regionals.
Yeah,
right?
that was before the regional format. But yeah, when we traveled all over the place, all over the country, really, just reffing major events. And yeah, the 2009 U.S. Open was pretty spectacular. I mean, it just the feeling when you pulled into that place was unreal.
The wow factor, yeah.
It was a wow factor. The only thing that sucked about that event was it was 120 degrees every day.
Well, give Nick a chance to answer.
Well, yeah. So that was your pick too, also then, right?
No, I'll actually say because your original question was what was your favorite experience?
Right.
My favorite, probably something that really sticks out in my mind is Jake and I went to school in Southern Illinois. The very first time either one of us ever shot sporting clays was 2008. Was 2008 at Wren Lake Shooting Complex, which is no longer. They had a few trap fields, skeet fields, and they had actually a hell of a nice sporting clays course. And what a humbling experience that was.
Wow.
I think I walked out of there, and I remember we were facing west on a station that was shooting towards the lake, and there was a rabbit that ran down a hillside. And I've tried to, everywhere I've been, I've never had the right terrain to throw that target, to replicate that target again. But this rabbit was on a berm, probably 15 foot high, and it literally bounced down the side of this berm, and it was insane. And I think I ended up with my very first round of sporting clays I ever shot in my life. I broke a 33. Wow. What'd you break, Jake?
Probably, yeah.
Right around there?
Under 40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Under
but
40.
it was so fun. I mean, it was ridiculous.
It was
You
humbling.
remember that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So Nick, what about you? There's got to be a story somewhere.
There's lots of stories, including these two here, but there's a lot of inappropriate stories. But something that stands out to me every year, we sponsor this shootout in Montana. It's called the Western Challenge, in it's called Gallatin Sporting Clays in Three Forks, Montana. By far one of the most beautiful piece of property I've ever been fortunate enough to work at. We've done it for the last 4 years. Rick Hemingway actually sets the targets every year.
Oh, nice.
And you guys are familiar with Rick.
Oh, yeah.
And probably Zach Kinebaum can even agree that this place in Montana is pretty legit. With the terrain, it's just unmatchable anywhere in the U.S. I mean, Elk Creek is probably the closest that I can think of. But other than that, just being out there and the views every morning and every night with the sunrise and sunset and the targets that you can throw off of those mountains and the cliffs, and that's, to me, seeing the
cool.
wows. Everybody, when they see the targets, they turn around and look at each other like, what was that?
Yeah.
What did I just see?
Right.
It's one of the coolest things. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
I would have to say, I mean, don't get me wrong, Sean and I have talked about it before on previous episodes. Him and I both picked a memorable moment, and looking back on our answers, I don't think I can answer it. I think it hasn't been written yet, because every time I go to shoot, I have so much fun.
Yeah.
I'd say last year's state shoot was phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
the shoot-offs, the dinner, the mixer before the dinner. We had so many friends there, and our wives were there, and we just had a great time. But honestly, I don't think it's been written yet, because every time I go to a shoot, especially a big shoot, it's a new experience. It's a new.
Well, did you notice the three of us? None of our answers were about score.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
None of it
Yep.
was about score.
Yep.
And that is such a good point, Jake, because it's not about the number you turn that makes it memorable or makes it fun.
No.
It's the experience in it,
Now,
So-
if you can do both, I mean, that's
Oh,
great.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
Now,
no.
I'd love to say, I shot HOA last year at the state, and but
Yeah.
that's not in the cards yet. So I said, yeah.
Second close for me is every time we go out to nationals and I beat Jake in total targets broken the whole week.
Nice.
So take that one to the bank.
Got a little grudge match going there,
Nice.
don't
You
we?
can't forget he did win a national championship.
I am a national champion. Thank you.
You can't take that away from me.
I was in D class. So.
Hey, I tell you what, I got some really good questions for you guys. Let's take a quick break.
10-4. So, since you guys are so supportive of rec shooters and bringing new people into the fold and just trying to grow business in general for everybody, I feel like the Cardinal Center we're behind you 100%, 110%.
Thank you.
And we definitely want to support the cause. So what we would like to do is give you a corporate membership to take and hopefully drive some more listeners.
Okay.
A corporate membership's 3,000 targets and a golf cart rental every time they're there.
That's very generous of you. Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate that.
Man.
How we give it away is up to you guys. There's a bunch of ideas around
Yep.
that we've tossed around all night. Let's say a drawing about the 1st of May.
Okay.
Okay. That's the only stipulation I've got.
Okay.
And I'll let you guys kind of run with this thing.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jake, very much. We appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah.
the Cardinal Center.
Yeah, to all of our listeners, kind of stay tuned here. We'll come up with some more details on that and how to win that fantastic prize. That's a big one.
I want to add in something there too, and I would challenge all the other gun clubs around the country that feel the same as us to do the same.
Wow.
Call into Dead Pair and offer them something to give to the shooters to help bring up the sport.
Yeah, well, I mean, because really,
that's awesome.
the Cardinal membership, I mean, super awesome, but let's face it, it's going to be somebody that lives in Ohio that's going to take advantage of that and really
Correct.
get the most out of it. So,
Right.
yeah, if there's other shooting courses out there and you really want to jump on board, we'll promote the hell out of you. And, whether you're in Florida or Texas or Michigan or wherever, we'll do what we can to try to push the sport, because that's what we're all about.
That is truly awesome. I mean, that's a hell of a gesture. We appreciate it very much. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help the new guy. You guys know that.
Yep.
And that's huge.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's fantastic.
I'm kind of
speechless, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of lost for words on that one. So I have a few more questions for you guys. Speaking of winning things, What do you guys see? I mean, you guys put on a lot of tournaments. Nick, you travel the country to different tournaments and clubs and stuff. What do you guys see as something that really spikes the numbers in a tournament? Is it payout? Is it gun giveaways? What is it that makes the numbers spike for a tournament?
You want to go first or you want me to?
I mean, I'll go first. I'll tell you what really spikes for a tournament is weather.
Yeah, I could see that.
Aside from what you're giving away at the shoot, conditions are number one.
Yeah.
That can make or break any shoot there is. Doesn't matter if it's skeet, trap, or sporting clays.
But, I mean, as a whole, though.
As far as, like, prize packages go, that's a good question. I mean, bringing up the guys that don't shoot a lot, the lower class guys, they're already participating and they're spending so much money in the sport that you really, when it comes down to prizes, I prefer volume over quality. You know, if I were to give away, let's say, a Beretta DT11, I'd rather give away 5 or 6 686 silver pigeons.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Or
Spread it
100
around.
flats of shells
Right.
or something like that.
And
Right.
initially, you got to think about, okay, so you're going to give away a large prize. Well, who's going to win it?
Yeah.
Who's eligible?
Right.
Right.
Is it going to be the same people that always win them?
Right.
You know? And
Yeah,
that's something you got to think about, too. You got to think about ways to bring up those lower class guys that, you know, they could be weekend warriors. They could be great shots. They just don't have the time to shoot
Right.
Yeah.
as much as everybody else or practice, but they still like coming to the shoots. I mean, I think you're dealing with a different echelon of people, and prizes aren't necessarily as important as something else. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody likes a prize. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm thinking there's other ways you can go about satisfying whatever their desires or wants or whatever that may be by winning their class or an event. What it is, I don't know.
Well, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Everybody does this for a different reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The majority of the people, you guys are both very successful. Okay, is winning $500 going to change your life?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, hey, Jason, you shoot a Kohler. Okay, how about winning a Beretta A300?
Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
You know, are you going to go to a shoot because of that?
Right. Right.
Right.
Right, and like what Licky touched on with volume over quantity, you know, or quantity over quality. You're creating more winners if you're giving away.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always fun when you can have, you know, I remember at the state shoot and stuff, you guys gave away, you know, flats and flats and flats of ammo. You gave away all kinds of other prizes. I mean, it wasn't one big, I mean, you did have some guns and stuff that you gave away, but so many people left there feeling like, hey, I won something. I did. I won a flat of shells, you know?
Right.
You know, if you go to M&M for a regional, a U.S. Open, any of his events, anything Anthony throws, you're going to get top quality.
Sure.
You're going to get top quality presentation. You're going to get top quality scorekeepers. You're going to get top. I mean, you're just going to get top quality.
Okay.
That drives numbers up. Okay. And like Luke touched on, sporting, I don't think a prize package necessarily drives numbers. And Luke and I are of the mind that anything that gets, so when a club puts together a sponsorship package for an event, let's just say it's a state shoot. The club goes and approaches these companies and says, this is what we've got, this is what we're offering. Are you guys on board with this? None of the stuff, whether it be cash or product, comes back to the Cardinal Center and we keep that. It all goes back out to the shooter.
Right.
In the form of cash payouts or product giveaway.
Right.
Okay? That's the way it should be.
Yes.
I believe that's the way sponsors would like it to be. I'm not saying, for those who don't do it that way, that's fine. But it is of our opinion that that's how it should be, because that's what that stuff's there. That's the type of stuff that's going to drive your numbers, give them a little uptick. Ammo giveaways, you know.
Yeah.
I think for the Redbird, for as long as the Redbird's been in existence, we gave away 50 to 100 flats of ammo, and just for signing up.
Right.
You know, like, you don't have to compete. You just have to sign up.
and you get in the drawing for the ammo.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think, not to go off on a little tangent here, do you think entry fees are any kind of a barrier to shooters, recreational-wise or anything? I mean, I know that the bigger events, the
think
state
they
shoots
are.
and the regionals are obviously more expensive than your...
I think they are to some, but I think you got to pick and choose, and most people are like that too. I mean, yeah, would I like to shoot everything? Will my body allow me to shoot everything?
Right. Well, but
Maybe not.
if you go to a state shoot and you shoot the main, it's anywhere from say $150 to $300, depending on which state you're going to.
Right.
If you're going to your local average tournament, I've seen prices as low as $45-50 all the way up to $85-90 for 100 bird.
So my thinking behind that is, if you're going to go to the top tier events such as state shoots, regionals,
Nationals.
big blasts, stuff of that nature. If you're going to go and attend those, I don't think the cost of the event is any issue.
No, it's
Or should be
it's an experience.
Right.
I'm going to the Gator Cup. It's way more expensive than shooting anything here in Ohio that I've ever shot
Well,
before.
yeah,
but it's an
And
experience.
I think it's funny how guys, they complain about, ammo prices, but nobody really complains about target prices.
right.
Well, I said that when I
They
went
come
to
hand in hand. You
right.
gotta
I said
have
that
both.
when I went to the Florida State shoot. I would have paid double the money for half the score that I shot because of the experience. You know. So Bill Elliott is now the official coach for the Cardinal Center. Is that correct?
Yeah, so he's our club pro. Bill's a great ambassador to the sport. I mean, fantastic.
Just got his level 3.
Just got his level 3, which big shout out to Bill for doing that.
Yeah.
That takes an extreme level of commitment.
Absolutely.
And all the other guys that got their level
Yeah,
3 as well.
absolutely. Anybody who went through that program with him.
So, I mean, and I'm asking rhetorically because I already know the answer, but for our listeners, I mean, how's that working out? I mean, has Bill really helped out at the club with running that program there?
The thing about Bill is he is a sponge for anything clay target related.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He loves what he does.
He doesn't care if it's instruction or from operation standpoint or any PR stuff, and he's good at it. I call him my militant marketer. Because he is just relentless, and he pushes the envelope every day, and he.
Oh, you couldn't ask for a better guy on your side. I mean,
absolutely
he's
not.
been a big ambassador for us and for the Dead Pair podcast. He's helped us out quite a bit, put us in contact with different people, and can't say enough nice things about Bill.
Yeah, so he's right now through 2021, he'll be at the center the first Wednesday, Thursday of the month, and then the third Thursday, Friday of the month.
Okay.
So if you want to schedule lessons, you can contact Bill directly, or you can give the Cardinal Center a shout, either via email or on the phone, and we can get you in contact with Bill and get something scheduled.
Cool.
Hey, question. It was brought up on our last podcast with David Radulovich. He was asking about the night shoot. Now, that's the second weekend in November. Is that correct?
This year, the way the calendar falls, it's a little later than normal, which hopefully we have the same weather we had last year, because I have no qualms about 50 degrees.
Last year was
right, man.
awesome.
Let me tell you.
That was great.
The 13th, 14th.
Yeah, so we're actually
13th, 14th.
it's the
of November?
12th, 13th, and 14th.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We added the
Back
Jason.
up a minute.
Okay, we're back up.
Okay.
We added the 14th. It'll be a daytime event,
Okay.
but with the reception and the amount of out-of-state shooters that we've had in years past, we're going to give them a farewell type cup, 100 targets,
Oh, wow.
sporting.
Dude, that'd be cool.
On a Sunday
Nice.
morning. Probably 2 rotations, 9:30, and noon. So everybody's home at a decent hour, but you'll have 2 chances to shoot.
That's
100
awesome.
targets.
Do you guys remember off the top of your head how many shooters you had total for last year's?
It was unbelievable, Sean.
I mean, we were there. I mean, we interviewed you guys. It was packed, but I'm just curious. I mean,
I'll look it up.
what was the numbers? Because
I
I'm
think
really
it
curious.
was just over 400, wasn't it?
Yeah, total entries. It was just over 400 with the 2 nights between and the prelim. It was awesome. I mean, it was. But again, like what Luke alluded to earlier, weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, the last 2 before that I'd shot, one was in the 70-mile-an-hour gale winds at about
With some snow.
with some snow, and then the one before that was a lot of snow. I remember it was like a whiteout condition the Friday night that we shot it.
You guys can't forget I'm a trap manager, so I run very large trap shoots, and weather is everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it can mean 300 participants from your second 100 to your third 100 in a day.
Really?
It's that big. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, the campground's right there, so we know how many shooters are there during the events based on
It's just whether or not they're going to come out
how
and get
many.
on the course.
If they're gonna look at the weather forecast, they're gonna stay in their camper if it's gonna rain.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. So, and we talked about experience this whole time. We've talked about experience. A friend of ours who is a huge foodie loves Disney World. Okay, he came to the first night shoot, and he comes up to me, Jake, afterward. He says, "Jake, you know what you did here?" He said, "People go to wine tastings and cheese tastings. They don't go because they like wine or cheese. They go for the experience."
Sure.
He said, "What you've created here is an experience."
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and he's right.
Yeah.
And if you stick to that type of mindset, and you think about how the event's going to flow, which we rely on for our big sporting stuff, the knowledge Promatic provides is invaluable. Absolutely
100%.
invaluable. And it doesn't matter if you've got Nick, if you've got Jim Moses, the president, CEO of Promatic, all the way down to the shop, Tanner Heffington, they know exactly how to run an event successfully.
And there's a lot of pressure on you, Nick. I mean, because obviously you've got 2 courses for the night shoot set up, going simultaneously,
Plus a prelim
plus a prelim, and you've got
and a warm up.
I mean, that's a lot of throwers. I mean, how many throwers do you think you guys have in operation for the night shoot?
Well, we'll have 64. So 16.
64 between the 2 courses, practice.
Yeah. Yep, and then practice 5 stand.
Yep.
I mean, it's a big deal because it's at night, right? So it's not like if something goes down, which something's going to go down. If it goes down,
It's
at
not
night,
if,
right?
it's when, right?
It's at night.
Yeah.
It's tough to see. You gotta have a headlight, and then even then you gotta find your parts and this and that. It's
Batteries,
right.
birds.
Yeah.
Okay,
Parts.
so I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm sure between the 3 of you, you've already figured this out. Okay, but warm up doesn't matter if it was Friday night or Saturday night. There was a line clear back to the clubhouse. Okay, so and the other thing is too. So if you were on B squad, right? Because there was an A squad and a B squad rotations. So if you were on B squad and you're like the last guy to get up and warm up, now you're shooting completely in the dark. There was no lights up there. So 2 questions. 1, are you addressing this issue by putting in 2 practice fields, or 2, are you putting in lights on a practice field?
So what we'll probably end up doing, Jason, is we'll run multiple practice fields, but we won't. You'll get a left to right crosser, a right to left crosser, and an outgoing and an incoming target.
Okay. Right.
You'll still have 5 positions to shoot from, but we're not going to let you shoot 10 pairs of targets.
Gotcha.
Right.
You know?
No,
Right.
that's fine.
If you streamline it and you go say, okay, here's your 5 pair of targets. If you want to buy 2, get out of line and come back. Right. But it's still, and this is big time my fault because I don't practice when I go.
Right.
I don't warm up.
You
don't want to waste your good shots on.
Yeah, I don't want to waste the juju, good juju on practice.
Don't want to waste.
Man, you crushed those practice targets, but you only broke a 60 out there today.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay, so here's where I'm at with practice. For the longest time, I quit doing it completely. Okay, and then Wendell Cherry said something on a podcast. He said, "I don't know any sport where they go out on the field cold." So you're not trying to learn something new in a warm-up. You're not trying to work on a target in a warm-up. It's too late, okay? If you show up at a tournament and you're trying to work on a target, guess what? You're behind the eight ball.
Yeah.
It
No,
ain't
well,
happening.
you can't do that. No.
But to go out, just get the gun moving, feel the recoil, just kind of, kind of get the mindset going.
Well, for guys
Then
like me,
I
like
like that.
you're at work all day, like on a Friday night tournament, for instance. I go to work, Friday morning, I do my 9 to 5, and then I get off work and I head to Cardinal, and it's like, yeah, I need to put just a few rounds down the gun to get.
You want to feel the gun go off?
Yeah, just to get my mind into the frame.
Oh, and
It does help. 10, 20 rounds helps
Yeah, and I totally
immensely.
get that. Yeah,
Immensely.
But I see guys out there, and I get what you're saying, Jake. You see guys out there, they want to buy 100 practice targets, and it's like, dude, why?
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to prove something between now and 10 minutes from now when you shoot.
Jason, stop telling him that. We want him to buy it.
So
Buy all the warm-ups you can afford.
Right, and a true
And
testament.
if you
to
don't
Wendell-
use them, throw them in the trash.
a true testament to Wendell. Before I ever took Nick down to nationals with me to kick my ass, Wendell was shooting in the squad behind me. Okay.
Okay.
And I was shooting well. This is when I was a national champion.
Okay.
I inhaled
And he'd followed me. So we shot the 4-day rotation. So he'd followed me every day for 4 days. And at nationals, you're shooting in 4-man squads, and you're always waiting. So the next squad is always right behind you, looking at birds or whatever. Well, it got to about day 3, and Wendell said, "Jake, on outgoing stuff, you're all crouched down." He said, stand up straight. He said, "Don't do it now, but when you go home, practice that."
Right.
You know, he said, "Do exactly what you're doing for the next 2 days, because I've been watching you break targets, but you'll be a whole lot more consistent when you go home and on your outgoing stuff. Stand up straight. Don't
What'd
crouch
your
like a
brother
zinch."
always tell you? Same thing.
I don't have a brother. I have a sister.
Jeez.
Oh, man. The gloves have came off.
We don't hold anything back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're
We're
getting
good.
that. Hopefully
we do
listeners are getting it, too.
constructive criticism. We do
We're
unconstructive
both too
criticism.
old. We're both too old to make it physical, so we just verbally assault one another. So one of the greatest stories I've got about Luke, and it's not. I mean, it doesn't look good on Lukey, but I'll tell it anyway because it's funny. We're at Dan's, and Dan's experimenting with that super sporting thing in the middle of it, in the middle of your sporting rotation.
Oh, yeah, where he'd throw in like 1 or 2
Oh,
stations.
yes.
Right.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay.
That. Yeah. Yep.
One of the only times I got mad.
We've made it 3 stations, and I'm already 8 birds up on Lukey, and I am just loving it. Okay,
Life's good.
right.
I picked out Jake
So,
that day.
so his bead on his gun, he looks at it,
DT11.
and it's rotating.
Carbon fiber DT11.
It's rotating. And then we went to this station, and it was just, I mean, it was a monster pair. It was outgoing missile teal on a true pair, and they were at closest probably 30 when you're shooting at the first one. The second one was probably a little over 40, but still straight moving. Luke gets out of this station, and he is so angry. He takes his bead and he rips it off his gun and throws it in the woods.
I'm done. Just gonna use the force from here on
He
out.
was
huh?
done. He did. He pulled out his lightsaber and he's like, "Wah, wah, wah." If you want to be the ultimate competitor, if you want to compete in your class, look at the scores.
Yeah.
Because then you know what you got to do.
That's right.
You got to
Okay,
see
you
the
know-
score.
Right.
You got to beat it.
You know what you got to, at least you know what's expected of you. If you don't look at the scores, you have no idea what's expected of you.
Right.
And there will be people that argue this with
Well,
me.
yeah, see, I'm the opposite side of that. I would rather go out and put in 110% on every target, or 100% on every target, okay, and not worry about I've got to do this in order to win. I want to know that I put it all out there, every target, every pair, every station, and then the chips fall where they may, because I'm not at that David level yet of looking at scores, knowing where I got to be, the whole strategy of it. I'm not at that level yet. Now, Bill may argue this with me, but I want to go out there and shoot the best that I can and let the chips fall where they may. That's just me.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for everybody. That's just me.
And that's, again, I'm a little, and Elliot and I have had this conversation. I'm a control freak.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me too.
If I'm putting a product out there, I want it to be top notch.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And Nick and Luke will attest to this. If we're going to put something out there, we're not doing it half-ass.
Right.
That's right.
That doesn't bring people back. That doesn't fill seats. That doesn't fill parking lots. That doesn't fill campsites.
Right.
so knowing where I'm at, and Luke's story about the state shoot, breaking a 91 and then coming back the next day bringing a 8?
78.
That pressure got to him.
Boy.
I feel like.
It happens.
Okay.
It's happened to us.
It was a little bit of everything, but I let it get to me. I let it get to me too fast.
Well, and you thought, I shot this great score yesterday. What the hell's wrong with me now? Well, there's a whole lot of stuff that's, outside your control.
I shot a AA score is what I did.
Yeah, you shot.
You
went from shooting a top-notch master score to shooting
I
a AA
expected to
score.
shoot another master score, and I didn't. Now,
Well, you could have, but
That's
you
the game.
had a meltdown.
I could have.
That's the game.
78's not going to do it.
At least I was consistent in that low 80s area.
I mean, it was what it was. It was a learning position for me. I mean, I was on top of the world the first day, and then
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, let's take it. I mean, me and Jason just started shooting 3 years ago. So, I mean, I feel we've come a long way
Absolutely.
in a short time.
Absolutely.
But
big
at the
time.
same time, it's like, where I'm going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Like some of these guys have 20, 30 years of shooting under their belt.
some more than that.
They've forgotten more targets than I've seen.
Right. So again, so maybe that's part of the disconnect is with the whole entire sport is once you get to masterclass, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know,
And see, I
like
don't-
how do you guys? Because the big shoots are fun. Everybody loves going to the big shoots,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But
if
what is
you're a
the
masterclass
what is the
shooter-
incentive for those top class shooters to even go to those events?
camaraderie. It's
Exactly.
fun. It's
Everybody-
fun.
right.
It's fun. It's a vacation.
Right.
That's what they
Well,
do.
and that's the
So-
thing. I mean, if I was a golfer and I was able to go out and compete on the PGA Tour with Tiger, Nicholson.
do you like to golf?
No, I'm not a golfer. When I was at the regional, Zach Kinebaum was shooting 2 stations down from me when I was at the regional. And it's just like, wow, that guy's on a magazine cover.
Yeah.
And I'm
Multiple times.
and I'm 50 feet from him. I mean, it's cool. It's very
No,
cool.
that's awesome. The accessibility of the stars,
Yep.
quote unquote,
Yep.
is amazing. That's what makes this sport amazing.
Yeah.
And it's funny
And
because
what they say to you. I mean, they
There's a lot of
they
them who are
divulge a
fantastic
lot of
people,
information
and,
to you,
and are very.
And Zach's a great one. I mean,
so
Zach doesn't turn anybody away.
Well, I'm
He's
hoping
a
I can run
great
into him
guy.
at the Gator Cup. We'll see.
All right, Rambo.
So I went to the Florida State shoot and interviewed Rollins, his wife Kimball, Chris Ferris, Mike Luongo, Rick Hemingway, missing one.
Gavin.
No, yeah, Gavin Miles, Karen Shed. I was blown away. Now, me being a big student of the game, Sean does. Forgive Sean. He's not into podcasts and stuff, but he did until the state shoot. He did not know who these people were. He knew who Rick Hemingway was, but
I heard the names. I just didn't know. Like Jason
Right.
is like the baseball fan that knows everybody's stats and batting
Right.
averages.
So-
For the last 20 years, I'm not that guy.
So
I'm
for
just not
me-
that guy.
I'm with
I
you.
know who
I'm-
Mickey Mantle is. I know who
I'm
Babe
a
Ruth
Sean.
was, but I'm not.
I'm
I
a
can't sit
Sean.
here and rattle
Okay.
off what his batting average was in 1924.
Well-
I'm a
It's just-
Sean.
I
I'm
can't
a
do
Sean
that.
on this one.
Okay, so to my point, I love the sport. Okay, I look up to these people that are at the top of the game because that's where I want to be.
Oh, absolutely.
It's never gonna
Absolutely.
Okay, it's never gonna freaking happen. I'm
No,
48
you say
years
that
old.
Now. You don't know that.
Well, okay, the likelihood of me being a quote unquote pro. My point is I really look up to these people. So when I approached them for an interview, I was starstruck. I really was. It was blown away, the friendliness, the willingness to sit down and talk to me for 5, 10, some of them 15, 20 minutes. Probably the nicest people ever in sporting clays is the Parkers.
Malcolm.
Malcolm and Melanie.
Oh yeah.
Melanie was doing this and pulling me and going, "Come on, you got to go meet this." She's the one that introduced me to Chris Ferris. I couldn't pick Chris Ferris out of a lineup. I've seen him in the magazines. I know who he was. I know what he's accomplished. Come on, you got to be. And she was helpful. It blew me away. I was like, "Wow, I can't." It's like a big family, right? My point is the friendliness and the willingness to help. I don't care if it's at the top of the sport or the bottom of the sport. everybody that I've came across is there for you. If you need, I don't care what it is, they're there
Absolutely.
to help. And that's what I love about the sport. Motocross, when I raced motocross, we were a little band of brothers that traveled together. Okay? We were buddies. The gate drops, they will run you over for a $5 trophy. Dude, I mean, not just run you over, put you in the cheap seats, okay?
But it goes back to everything we touched on all this entire podcast. I mean,
What are you doing it for?
What are you doing it for?
Right.
And everybody, that'll change throughout the course of the journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Well,
for
I mean,
every individual.
I run a business. I work, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. This is my release. This is my fun time. This is my hobby.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So I enjoy it to go out there, shoot with my buddies,
Right.
get some beers afterwards, whatever, get some wings, and talk about it. We get together, we talk about shooting, we practice, we have fun. And it's that keeps me going back. It's not that yes, obviously, every time I want to go to a tournament, I want to win, I want to put the best score in that I can possibly do. But we all know that. It's not going to happen every freaking time. I mean, it's just not. If that was the case, I would have quit a long time ago. You know what I mean? I go out there to have fun. I go out there to enjoy myself, hang out with my buddies. And yes, everybody we've met, I've got at least a dozen what I would call good friends at this point in the game that I've met in the last 3 years that I could call any of them up. We could go out, grab beers, grab dinner.
Salt of the earth type people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would have never met them without doing this.
Absolutely.
So I want to go back and touch on something real quick if we could. You talked about masterclass and what's in it for the guys once they get to master, right? So, friend of ours, he put the gun in the safe.
Thanks, Nick.
He put the gun in the safe. So Sean and JD and I had this conversation, and they're like, well, there's nothing left to chase. He punched up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I guess what changed my mind about this is this year at the state, there's an elderly gentleman. He's in master class. I'm not going to say his name. We had this conversation. We shot the 5-stand together, and I said, I don't ever want to go to master. He said, why? And I said, because when I go to a regional or a big money shoot, I got to shoot against the Kevin DeMichaels, the David Raduloviches.
I'm biting my tongue right now because you're talking about Eric.
Hold on, man. And
waiting.
I said, he said, son, don't ever do that. I said, what do you mean? He goes, don't ever hold back. And I said, okay. He goes, when you get to master, you have made master class. Go for HOA. I don't care who's there. It doesn't matter. They're just names. You need to shoot the best you can. If you shoot a 96 and they beat you with a 97, then you need to work harder and come back next time and shoot that 98. And I got to thinking about it. It's like, wow, so, okay, you've done chased punches all the way to the top. Now let's chase an HOA. Keep going. Keep fighting. And the mindset's there is, well, I've punched in the master, I'm done. No, you're not. It's a challenge every time. If that was the case, Zach Keenbaum would have hung it up after he won a national. Yeah. Derek Mine would have hung it up after he won a national. No, they keep fighting. They keep chasing it. And that's what gets me. It's like, don't stop. Who cares? You got to go against David Dulich. So what? But is it making sense what I'm trying to say?
No, I get it. I absolutely
That's why
get
I
it.
will just.
I've got a guy who's going to stand up in my wedding, and it's not because I couldn't find more friends.
Sure.
You're
right?
talking about me?
No, I didn't have a choice. You have to stand in my wedding. I've got a guy who's going to stand in my wedding who I've known for, where are we at? 7?
2015.
Almost 7.
2015. Remember when he was sitting there by
fantastic
the
friends.
East
Fantastic friends. I could call him
bathrooms.
any time, any day, and I'm getting an answer, and we're going to have a conversation.
That's awesome.
It doesn't, I talk to him probably, the majority of our stuff that we talk about isn't even work related.
Yeah.
Some of it is, but the majority of the stuff we talk about, not work related.
Sean and I have been friends for 30 years, and he'll attest to what I'm about to say. Out of high school, I did drag racing. Then I did pro stock mud drags. And then I went to motocross. I went back to mud drags. And then sporting clay. Everything I've ever been involved in, I am 110%.
It sounds like you go all out.
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
I'm very passionate.
There's nothing wrong.
Whatever my hobby or sport is, I'm in it 110%. So my point to bring that up was, in all the other sports that I've done, and Sean will attest to this, when I was in mud drags, I was the local badass. I mean, I really was. I mean, all Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania.
So people pulled their options. They said, "Oh, Rambo's here. We ain't playing that option."
Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, I didn't have the money that other competitors did, but I would beat them with other means and methods. But anyway,
talent.
My point
Maybe
is
Cheating.
no, never cheated.
Don't tell him about that nitrous bottle, Dylan.
I wasn't cheating. I promise.
No, I'm just kidding.
I did it one time. It was a quarter of nitromethane in ND, and I'll never do it again. But anyway,
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying hard enough.
Well, if you can't win, crash someone that can. But the relationships and the friendships that I've built through shooting tenfold that of any other hobby that I've ever had. So, but, okay, go out. First of all, you need to be liking us and following us on Facebook and Instagram.
Absolutely.
Don't forget about our YouTube page.
Right.
Okay. And let's not forget about questions for the coaches. So no matter what your question, whether it's about something to do with gear, a gun, a vest, I don't care what it is. Maybe it's in a way to approach a certain target. Maybe it's something about training or practice. If you have a question, send it in to us. We're going to pick 2 questions every week. We're going to call up 1 of 3 coaches. Those 3 coaches are Bill Elliott, Gavin Miles, and Mike Luongo. We're going to give them a call. We're going to get answers to your questions. So like us on Facebook and Instagram, and make sure you follow up with us through the website with an email address and a picture on the Facebook page for a chance to win the corporate membership from Cardinal Shooting Centers.
Yeah, and one more thing. Let's also remember to, this is probably going to be the last time we do it, graciously provided by us the discounts of our previous advertisers. We've got a 25% discount with Pro Ears.
Yes.
If you order off their website, the code, I believe, is DeadPair25.
That's correct.
And then we've got Wild Hair Shooting. They gave us a 10% discount. I think it was DP10.
Correct.
For the discount on there. And then we had another discount from Atlas Traps.
That's correct. 10%.
10% discount from Atlas Traps.
Off the entire order.
Off the entire order. And that was that Dead Pair 10?
Dead Pair 10.
Dead Pair 10. And then what's the last one? There was one
Morgan
more.
Optical.
Morgan Optical. That's right. Yeah. So we want to thank Morgan Optical for giving a 10% discount to their orders. And I believe their code was it DP10 as well?
A Dead Pair.
Just Dead Pair.
Dead Pair.
Dead Pair. So big thank you to all those guys providing discounts to all of our listeners, all of our podcast listeners. Just a reminder, those are going to be coming to an end soon. Probably by the time you hear this podcast, there will be only a week or 2 left to take advantage of that. So definitely get on the ball and get involved on those.